Sorry for the disruption of the previous video. We are again going to understand how to take the inverse, or whether B inverse A inverse is the right inverse of AB or not. Uh, so by this proof we are trying to understand how to prove something and how to proceed about proving something. So first we'll go to the definition of inverse, which says that if something or A is a inverse of B, then A multiplies B is equals to B multiplies A is equals to the identity matrix. That should happen actually. But here in this particular case, our matrix is AB, A times B. So there are two matrices A and B, both of them are square matrices, and we want to find out the inverse of A into B. And we claim that the inverse is B inverse A inverse. So what we will do? We will first pre-multiply B inverse A inverse with AB, and then we will post multiply uh, B inverse A inverse with AB, and then we will try to prove that both of them comes out to be identity matrix. And if so, then we are done with the proof that B inverse A inverse is the inverse of AB. Just to just to tell you that how to write a proof, you should understand that whenever you are proceeding with the proof, you should write the reason why you can or why you should move to the another statement. For example, if you see B inverse A inverse AB, so we are trying to prove the first item. So B inverse A inverse AB is equals to this, which is because of the associative property. We can rearrange the brackets. The next one is again rearranging of the brackets. So now we could get A inverse A in the middle, and which can be changed to identity matrix with the definition of inverse. Okay. Now, and then the next steps is IB equals to I, which is because of the definition of identity matrix. And that's how the proof is done. Similarly, you can actually prove why B inverse A inverse is the right inverse of AB. And thus your proof is over. Now let us go back to our system of linear equations, and wherein we want to solve a set of linear equations to find out the value of the variables. But now we are trying to find out a algorithmic way to find out the solution. What does it mean by algorithmic way? It should be a set procedure. It should it should seems like it is iterating. It is We are actually providing correct conditions and precise conditions, and under those conditions things can come. Okay, so let us we are here we are going to see just an example. Okay, let us see that. Suppose that this is your sample problem, and you want to find out the solution of this problem. Okay, what we are trying to do, or what we are going to do, is this: that we are trying to take some multiplication of some scalar multiplication of equation 1, some scalar multiplication of equation 1, and then we add up with the equation 2, so that the coefficient of x1 becomes 0. Similarly, you will suitably multiply the equation number 1 with some scalar quantity on the both sides of the equality, and then add or subtract with equation 3 so as to knock down or make the coefficient of x1 to be 0. So this will be the idea. So first we will remove the coefficient of x1 with the help of equation 1, and then we will remove the x2 from equation 3 with the help of equation 2. Thereby we will be getting some kind of a upper triangular set of equations, in which Equation number 1 has 3 variables, equation number 2 has 2 variables, and equation number 3 has 1 variable. Since it is one variable, you can easily solve it and go back, put the value of this variable into the previous equation, that is the second equation, wherein there are only two variables, one variable you know, and hence again there is one unknown only, and you can solve it. Similarly, now again going back to the equation number 1, you have three variables. Out of those two variables are known, you put the values and get the value of the first variable. So the first part of this process, wherein we are trying to take the linear combination, or we are trying to take some scalar multiplication of equation 1 and adding it to the another equation, it is called Gauss elimination. And when we are putting back the values of variables into the previous equation, it is called back substitution. So we can solve, or we can say that this is the process by which we can, Gauss elimination and back substitution is the process by which we are getting the solution of the equations. Okay, let us just try to see the example of it. So what is the suitable multiplier of equation 1 which can knock down or which can make the coefficient of x1 for equation 2 to be 0? Think algorithmically. So what could be it? So we can take it like equation number 2 or equation number 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 4. If I do that, divided by 2 divided by 2 multiplied by 4, and then whatever equation 1 changed into, we then subtract this equation from equation number 2. If we subtract this equation, then definitely the coefficient of x1 can be made 0. Similarly, if you are asking about equation 3, we can subtract 9 by 2 times of equation 1 from equation 3 and thereby able to make the coefficient of x1 to be 0. Right? So that's how we are going to apply. Okay, so you can see there is an example here. So we have first removed x1's coefficient from equation number 2, and then we have removed coefficient of x1 from equation 3, and this is the system of equations afterwards. This is the equation of system of equations that we got finally after doing this. Similar thing we will apply for x2 variable for equation number 3 with the help of equation number 2, and we will definitely move further. Now the point that should be noticed, that we are only interested in the point in the solution in the values of x1, x2, x3 which satisfies all those three equations. So taking this process, how it ensures that the solution point or the common point is not going to change. That is the most important point we should think about, and if we should care about. If somewhere that point is going to change, then the whole process is useless. So we have to make it sure that the point, the common point which is lying or which is satisfying all the three equations, should satisfy the new set of equations. So as we are moving, we are changing the whole set of equation, and by changing the whole set of equation, we should not be removing the common solution point. Okay, let us see why it should not change, or why that still be the common solution of the equations. So let us just consider two equations, 4 and 5. We have rewritten them in so that on the right hand side of the equality we get 0. Now consider this particular equation. This equation consider this equation, which is nothing but the scalar multiplication of the equation number 4 and some scalar multiplication of equation number 5, and that's how you get equation number 6. Now if a point, or if the value of x1 and x2 satisfied, a particular value of x1 and x2 is satisfied by equation by 4 and 5 both, then the coefficient of alpha will becomes 0, because it is satisfying the equation number 1, equation number 4. So this should become 0. Similarly, if it is also satisfying the equation number 5, then this part should also be 0. Lambda's coefficient should be also 0, and that's how we say that 0 equals to 0, and this particular point also satisfies this new equation as well. So that is the reason why we can actually do this. Now you can see some more examples about this process so as to understand it better. So after understanding it better, you can actually try a few more examples with your hand, so that you can get a good grasp of it and you can understand that, okay, yes, it is working and it is working nicely. Although we have dropped some of the special cases like no solution case and um, infinite number of solution case, here we have dropped them, we have not discussed them, but still it is a kind of a algorithmic process which we can follow and try to get the solution in almost all the cases, especially in those cases where we have the unique solution. In the next chapter we are trying to see how to understand the matrix multiplication. So there are many ways to understand matrix multiplication. In the next part we are going to see that. Thank you.